Hello all, welcome to another session in this course. As part of this session, I am going to cover the next topic under the JavaScript basics, that is flow control statements. So let's get started. What exactly are the flow control statements in JavaScript? Let me explain it first. Flow control statements in JavaScript. Okay, what exactly are these flow control statements in JavaScript? Let me explain. So here, without flow control statements, what will happen? Okay, without flow control statements, what will happen? The other side I'll cover here is with the flow control statements. Okay, one side I'm saying what will happen if you don't write any code related to the flow control statements in JavaScript. Okay, programming language. And the other side that I'm going to cover here is with flow control statements, what is the difference that you are going to see? Okay, two aspects, two categories have divided. Okay, without flow control statements in JavaScript language, with flow control statements, what will happen? You see, first I'll cover the without one. Okay, without flow control statements, assume that this is one of the JavaScript file. In this JavaScript file, some code has been written. Okay, line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, line 6, line 7, line 8, line 9, line 10, line 11, line 12. Okay, like this, we have some lines of code, okay, in the JavaScript file. Without flow control statements, if you are not using any flow control statements, okay, and if you are running this code, the code will start from the first line to the last line. Okay, how the execution will happen? First line 1 will be executed. Okay, this first line will be executed. After that, second line will be executed. Then third line. After third line completed, fourth line will get executed. After fourth line, then fifth line. After fifth line, then sixth line, then seventh line, then eighth line, ninth line, 10th line, 11th line, 12th line, and so on. Okay, this is how the code will get executed if you don't use any flow control statements line by line in a sequential manner. After line 1, then line 2, after line 2, then line 3, and so on. Okay, the code will get executed line by line if you are not using the flow control statements. Okay, after the first line only second line, after second line only third line, and so on. Okay, but what will happen if you use this flow control statements in JavaScript language? Okay, so let me give you some situations that will happen if you are using the flow control statements. There are different type of flow control statements that I'm going to cover. Okay, so there are different types of flow control statements. With one kind of flow control statements, what will happen? I'll show you. Okay, as the name itself says that flow control, the execution, okay, flow of the code will be changed. Okay, flow will be controlled here in a sequential manner without any control. After line 1, then line 2, line 3 are getting executed, and so on, right? But if you are using some flow control statements, the order in which this particular line of code or the flow in which this particular line of code is getting executed can be changed. Okay, it may not be always, after first line, second line, after second line, third line. You can change or modify the flow of the execution of the code if you are using this flow control statements. Okay, so let's say there are a few lines of code here. First line, second line, then third line, then fourth line, then fifth line, then sixth line. Some lines of code are there here. What will happen with the flow control statements? I'm going to show you what possibilities will happen, what will happen, and let me show you. Okay, so in one category of the one type of the flow control statements, if you use, how this flow of the execution of the code will change, let me show you first. Okay, so there may be some situation where after first line, second line, okay, we can actually do like this. Okay, we can actually do like this. The code can be executed like this. You see, first line got executed, then second line got executed. With this, you can clearly see that, right? First line got executed, second line got executed. What about third line, fourth line, fifth line, sixth line, seventh line? All these lines didn't get executed. This line didn't get executed. This line didn't get executed. This line did. This is third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh line. Okay, 3 to 7 lines didn't get executed. The next line after first and second line, which line got executed? Eighth line got executed. Then ninth line got executed. You see, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, and so on. Okay, what about these lines of code? They were skipped. Okay, they are not executed. This kind of thing can happen. Okay, if you are using some flow control statements, you can skip some lines of code from execution. Okay, not every line in this particular JavaScript file need to be executed. Some lines of code can be skipped from execution with the flow control. This is one kind of possibility, guys. What is the second possibility that you will have with the help of this flow control statements? If you are using some different flow control statements, another category of flow control statements, if you are using, assume that this is JavaScript file and there are some lines of code here. Assume that there are some lines of code here. Assume that there are some lines of code here. Okay, let's say these are some lines of code. Okay, with flow control statements, what will happen? Let me know. Let me tell you. Okay, so with another category of the flow control statements, the code can be executed something like this. Okay, so like this, the code is executing like this. Okay, the code is getting executed like this. Okay, so the code execution has started here. First line, second line, third line. Okay, this is third line, right? After third line got executed, fourth line got executed. Okay. After third line, after 1, 2, 3, 4 got executed, then fifth line got executed, then sixth line got executed. After sixth line, again third line got executed. Then fourth line, fifth line, sixth line. Okay. Two times this same lines got executed. Again, third line, fourth line, fifth line, sixth line. Third time, same lines of code got executed. Again, third line, fourth line, fifth lines, fourth time they got executed. Then fifth time they are getting executed. Six times. Okay. The same lines of code, that is 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of code got executed six times. Same lines repeatedly. Okay. Repeatedly, the same lines of code got executed multiple times. Okay. This kind of things also can be possible with the one category of or some type of flow control statements. Not only skipping some lines of code from execution, but also the same lines of code can be executed multiple times repeatedly with the help of this flow control. This is how the execution flow of the code can be changed. Okay, execution flow of the code can be changed with the help of this flow control statements. Okay, because they can control the flow of the execution of the code. Another kind of possibility that is there with this flow control statements, let me show you. Okay, let's say these are some lines of code. This is a JavaScript file and there are some lines of code here. Assume that these are some lines of the code in the JavaScript file. And if you are using some other category of the flow control statements in JavaScript, what will happen? Let me tell you. Okay. So this kind of possibility also exists. Okay. After first and second line, let's say the execution went to this line directly. Okay. Or else, from here directly, the execution went to this line. Okay. First line, second line, directly from second line, sixth line we went. Okay. From the second line, we went directly to sixth line. From sixth line, we went to this line. Okay. Like a monkey jumping from one branch of the tree to another branch of the tree, right? Okay, you can jump from any of the place to any other place, guys. Okay, like this from here and there. Okay, from second line to sixth line, from sixth line to fourth line, from fourth line to eighth line, from eighth line to second line, from second line to ninth line. Okay, like this you can go from anywhere of the code to anywhere of the place, like jumping like a monkey like a monkey jumping from one branch of the tree to another branch of the tree. Okay, the execution flow can be controlled and modified, okay, in such a way that after second line, some sixth line you will directly go, and from sixth line you will go to fourth line, eighth line, then second line, then ninth line, and so on. Okay, this kind of things are also possible with the help of the flow, one category of the flow control statements. Okay, so guys, without flow control statements, it was very simple, right? After one line by line, the code is getting executed. But with flow control statements, some lines of code are getting skipped. They are not getting executed. Okay, after second line directly, remaining 8, 9, 10 line. Okay, in this example are getting executed, or the same lines of code are repeatedly executed multiple times, or you are jumping from one line of the code to another line of the code. Okay, this is all possible with the help of the different flow control statements. Now, what are the different flow control statements we have in Java? Okay, I told you, right, what is possible with the help of flow control. This variety things are possible, right? So what are the different flow control statements in Java using which we can achieve this kind of, controlling the execution flow of the code. Okay. What are the different flow control statements we have in Java? Okay. We can categorize these flow control statements in Java into three categories. First category, second category, and third category. Okay. Which we are going to learn in detail in the upcoming sessions anyhow. First category is, okay, selection slash, we can call them as, okay, selection or conditional statements. Okay, conditional. First category of the flow control statements are selection or conditional statements is the first category. Okay, this is the first category of the flow control statements we have in JavaScript. Second category of the control flow statements we have, or flow control statements we have in JavaScript, are looping or iterative statements. Okay, looping slash iterative or iterative statements. Okay, the next category is looping or iterative statements. Okay, looping or iterative statements is second category. Third category is transfer statements. Okay, third category is the transfer statements. Transfer statements. Okay, third category is the transfer statements. First category is a selection or conditional statement. Second category is a looping or iterative statements. Third category is a transfer statements. Okay. Coming to the flow control statements in JavaScript can be categorized into these three categories. The first category, what are the different things we have? The first category we have if selection statements or if conditional statements. Okay. Then second kind of selection or conditional statements under this first category are if else. Okay, the next one is if else is the second one. If else is the second one. Then we have if if else if else, third one, third item under the selection or conditional statements in JavaScript. Then fourth one is a switch case. Okay, switch. Fourth one is a switch or switch case. Some people say that, we also have this ternary operator and all. Anyhow, I covered the ternary operator as part of this, okay, operators topic. Here in one of the types of the operators in the previous session, I covered already ternary operator. Some people consider this ternary operator also a conditional statement or selection statement in JavaScript. Okay, but these four are enough, guys. Anyhow, we have learned about ternary, right? For now, I would like to have this four as a selection or conditional statements in the JavaScript. Okay, then the next category of the flow control statements are looping or iterative statements in the JavaScript. What are they? First one here we have is while loop. Okay, first we have while loop, guys. Okay, the first item under the looping or first type of iterative or looping statements in JavaScript is while loop. Then we have second one is do while loop. Okay, second one is do while loop. Second one is do while loop. Then the third one is for loop. Third one is for loop. Okay, third one is a for loop, guys. Okay, the third one is a for loop. Then we have for in loop is another one. Okay, along with the for loop, we have some advanced for loops like for in loop, and the other one is for off loop. Okay, for off loop. Okay, so these are the different looping or iterative statements we have under the flow control statements in the JavaScript, guys. Okay, while loop, do while loop, for in loop, for off loop. Okay, then what about the transfer statements in JavaScript? So in JavaScript, we have this transfer statements like the major ones. Okay, there are many, but the major ones are break. Okay, the major transfer statements in JavaScript are break. Second one is continue. Second one is continue. Okay, second one is continue. Then third one is return. Third one is return. And the last one, the major one in the JavaScript, last major transfer statement in JavaScript is throw. Okay, throw or throw something. Okay. So let me cover. Okay, so what is the last one? Last one is throws, I think so. Just okay, throw. Just give me a second. The last one, last transfer statement we have in the JavaScript is throw. That's correct only. Okay. Fine. Whatever I have written is 100% right. Throw. Okay. Anyhow, I'm going to demonstrate all these different categories and different flow control statements under each and every category in the upcoming sessions. This is just an introduction session to this flow control statements in JavaScript, guys. Okay, understanding like what will happen if you don't use a flow control statements in your JavaScript programming, and what will happen if you use this flow control statements in your JavaScript programming. What will happen? What varieties will be possible, and what are the different flow control statements by category? I covered here all these items. Okay, each and every item that I mentioned, or each and every statements I mentioned under this selection conditional statements or looping or iterative statements or transfer statements, I'm going to cover in the upcoming sessions. Okay, I'll not leave anything. I'm going to cover each and every item of this. Okay, this different flow control statements category items in the upcoming sessions. So for this session, this much only, guys. Okay, let's meet in the next session. Okay, where I'm going to start with the selection or conditional statements. This first category of the flow control statements, that is selection or conditional statements, I'm going to cover in the next session. Okay. So that's all for this session. See you in the next session. Thank you. Bye bye. Hello all, welcome to another session in this course. As part of this session, I am going to cover the next topic under flow control statements, that is conditional statements. In the previous session, I have covered in a detailed manner what exactly are the flow control statements and how the JavaScript programs will look like without flow control statements and with flow control statements, and what are the different categories of the flow control statements that I have covered or listed down at a high level in the previous session. But now in this session, I'm going to go into this one of the category of this, one of the category of this flow control statements, that is conditional, or you can also call them as selection. Okay, conditional or selection statements. I'm going to get started in this session. So let's get started. So here I have some notes, guys. Okay, I'll be using these notes as a reference. Okay, though I'll be explaining by myself, but I'll be using this as a reference. So yeah, let me browse here. Fine, let's come to the top. Okay, so a lot of items are there here. I'm going to use this just for reference purpose or something. Okay, but apart from that, I don't want to use that. So let me come to the Paint software here, and then let me explain about the conditional statements now. Okay, let me explain about this conditional statements. Conditional, or you can also call them as selection statements. Conditional or selection statements. Conditional or selection statements. Okay, conditional or selection statements. So we have different conditional or selection statements. First one is if selection statement or if conditional statement. Second one is if else. Second one is if else. Third one is if else, if else. Fourth one is switch case. Okay, these are the four conditional or selection statements we have in the JavaScript. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate one by one for you. Okay, the conditional or selection statements, how they generally work. Let me explain at a high level. Okay, for example, this is a JavaScript file, and in this some lines of code are available. Okay, some lines of, okay, these are the JavaScript lines of code that are available here. Let me write these lines of the code in this JavaScript file. Okay, so this is a JavaScript file. In that some lines of JavaScript code are available. So when you run this code without this flow control statements, or whatever it is, the code will be executed one by one line. Okay, as covered in the previous session. After the first line, the second line will get executed. After second line, third line, then fourth line, fifth line, sixth line, and so on, right? That's how without flow control statements, the code will get executed. But if you are using this conditional or selection statements, what is possible? Okay, so the code can be executed something like this. Okay, the code can be executed something like this. Okay, so what happened? First line got executed, second line of the code got executed, third line of the code got executed. Here there will be some condition, guys. Okay, there will be some condition. Based on the result of this condition, if this condition results in false, let's say, if this condition results in false, okay, this conditional expression like a greater than b or something, if it results in false, then what happens? This particular lines of the code, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay, 4 to 9 lines will not get executed. You see, the flow of the execution of the code is not even touching this line. These lines of the code won't be executed. 4 to 9 will not get executed. The next line that got executed is 10th line, 11th line, 12th line. Okay, for example, guys, this is a for example where in one of the JavaScript file, if you have used this one of the conditional or selection statements, for example, it may happen that first three lines got executed, after the 10th, 11th, and 12th line got executed. In between lines got skipped from execution. Okay, and how they got skipped from execution? Based on this condition. If the condition was true, this particular lines would have got executed, would have been executed. But if since the condition has resulted in false, these lines got skipped from execution. If you want to achieve this kind of stuff, when the condition is true, you want to run these lines of the code. When the condition is false, you don't want to run this particular lines of the code. Such kind of situation, if you want to encounter and use in JavaScript programming, then you have to use this conditional or selection statements, guys. Okay, the first one, okay, using which this kind of category is possible, this kind of style is possible, is if selection statements or if conditional statements. Let me demonstrate this if first, okay? So here I'm going to create a JavaScript file, guys, okay? I'll just name this JavaScript file as, you know, if or conditional one dot js, okay? Conditional or selection one dot js, whatever the file, just for sample I'm creating or, okay? So here I'll write some code here, okay? Let a is equal to 5, comma, b is equal to 3. Okay, like this I'll create two variables, okay, and initialize this first variable with 5, second variable with 3 and all those stuff. Now I'm going to write a code if circular bracket, if, okay, if is the keyword, if is the keyword, and after the if keyword we have circular brackets, guys, okay. We have to write circular brackets. You have to use the if keyword in JavaScript and followed by that you have to give the circular brackets. After the circular brackets, you have to use curly brace. Okay, the starting of the if block, this ending of the if block. Okay, like that you have to write. And here circular brackets cannot be empty, guys. Circular brackets cannot be empty. After the if keyword, whatever the circular brackets are there, they cannot be empty. Okay, here we need to write something. Okay, what is that we can write here? We can give some condition a greater than b, like that one condition I gave. Okay, based on this condition, either the lines of the code which are there in the starting and ending of this block will be executed or skipped. We don't know. Okay, so let's see. Okay, if a is greater than b, here I'll write down console.log and I'll just print out a is greater than b. I'll just write like this, a is greater than b, I'll write. Okay, a is greater than b, I'll write. If a is greater than b, okay, then print a is greater than b. Now here, let me run this code. Will this code will be executed or not? Clear? Let me run this code. I'll just say node space conditional one dot js. Enter. A is greater than B got printed. Okay, you see this particular line of the code which is there in the if block got executed. So try to understand this, guys. I have created two variables and here if keyword is there. Okay, if you want to use the if conditional statement or if selection statement, you have to write the if keyword. Followed by the if keyword, you have to write the circular brackets. Inside the circular brackets, you have to give the conditional expression which either will, how many conditions are there here? Only one condition. Okay, in this if selection statements, only one condition is there. Based on the result of this condition, either this line, this code inside the if block will be executed or it will not be executed. Okay, if a is greater than b, 5 is greater than 3, true or false? If it is true, the code inside the if block will be executed and a is greater than b will be printed. A is greater than b will be printed. If the condition is resulting in false, then this particular line of the code which is there in the, this is called as if block, guys. Okay, starting of this curly brace after the if selection statement and ending of the curly brace at the end of this thing is this particular part is called as a if block. Okay, inside the if block there is some, you can have multiple lines of the code if you want. Okay, here only one line I have written. Here only one line I have written. You can write multiple lines of the code. For now, inside this if block, only for sample I have written this console.log. Okay, console. In real time, you will be writing the real code, guys. Just for now, just to see whether this particular lines of the code are get the code that is there inside the if block got executed or not. I am writing this kind of print statements, but ultimately in real time, okay, inside this if block we'll be writing some code. Okay, the some other code. Okay. So here to understand these concepts of the if selection statements and all, right, I'm writing this console.log. Fine. Anyhow, so this statement is getting printed. You see, a is greater than b is getting printed. Okay, we run this, a is greater than b is getting printed because 5 is greater than 3. 5 is greater than 3. That is correct. Since 5 is greater than 3, the code that is inside the if block is getting executed. What if I make it 3 to 13? What will happen if I make this 3 as 13? What will happen in that case? If I make 3 as 13, is still 5 greater than 13? No. If it is false, what will happen? This block will not be executed. The block will be skipped. The block will be skipped. Just see here. Anything got printed when I run this? JavaScript, when I run the code inside the JavaScript file, is anything got printed here? No, no output. Because since the condition has been false, the code inside the block has not been executed. What if after this if selection statement or if conditional statement or if block, if I have some other statements available, like end of this program like this, if I write, okay, in this case, if the condition is false, this particular line of the code, you see the execution started from this line got executed. When the condition came here, since the condition is resulting in false, 5 greater than 13 is false, directly from line third, okay, we'll directly go to the line 7. Okay, what about this lines? This won't be executed. This particular highlighted code won't be executed, guys. Since the condition is resulting in false, we'll not go inside the if block and directly end of the program will be printed. Run this, end of this program will be printed, end of this program will be printed. Okay, clear? So this is the thing, guys, okay? That a is equal to 5, b is equal to 13, and so based on the condition, if the condition is true, this particular code which is there inside the if block will be executed. If the condition is resulting in false, this particular block of the code won't be executed. It will go to the next line and continue with the execution, okay? So here only end of the program because the condition is resulting in false. What if I give it 15, 15 is greater than 13 is true. Since the condition is true, a is greater than b will be printed, end of this program also will be printed, okay? Enter. You see, a is greater than b and end of this program also will be printed. A is greater than b, end of this program, both will be printed. So hope guys you understood this, right? This is what is the if selection statement. Okay, this is what is the if selection statements. Okay, these are if selection statements or if conditional statements. Apart from the if, okay, we also have if else. We also have if else. Okay, how to? Let me demonstrate the if else, guys. Okay, let me demonstrate the if else for you now. So for that, I'll just create a new JavaScript file and I'll say conditional 2.js. Okay. And here I'll be writing the code. Let a is equal to 5, b is equal to 3. See, same line, same statement I have written when I compare to the previous JavaScript file. And here if I have to use this, if else, okay. So how the if else will work here is if the condition is true, some block of the code will be executed. If the condition is false, some other block of the code, either one of the block will be executed. If the condition is true, if block will get executed. If the condition is false, else block will be executed. Okay. So there, unlike if selection statements, here only one block will be there, but here two blocks will be there. Here in if selection statements, only if block will be there. But in if else selection statements, if block will be there, else block will be there. Okay. So let me show you how it looks like. If keyword will be there similar to the if selection statements here. If else also will have the same if keyword. And here circular brackets will be there. Here I'll say a greater than b is a conditional expression. Starting of the if block, ending of the if block. This is starting of the if block, this is ending of the if block. So inside the if block I'll write. Inside the if block I'll write console.log. Okay, I'll write a is greater than b. I'll write, okay, a is greater than b. So this looks similar to the if selection statement. Yes, 100% right. But here at the end of the if block, I'm going to write else. Okay, else keyword, and this starting of the else block, this is the ending of the else block. This starting of the else block, this is the ending of the else block. Here I'll write, okay, a is less than b. Okay. If the condition is true, a is greater than b should be printed. If the condition is false, a is less than b should be printed. Clear? So this is what is, okay, based on the condition result. If the condition is resulting in true, this line will get executed. If the condition is resulting in false, this particular line will get executed. Okay, that's what is the if else selection statements or if else conditional statements in JavaScript. Okay, let's run this code and see what exactly is happening, guys. Okay, let's run this code, conditional2.js. If I run this code, a will be 5 and b will be 3. 5 greater than 3 is true. Since the condition is resulting true, if block will be executed or else block will be executed. The condition is resulting in true, if block will get executed. That is a is greater than b will be printed. Run this, you see, a is greater than b got printed. What if I make this b as 13? A is 5 and b is 13. What will happen? 5 greater than 13 is false. If the condition is resulting in false, in earlier case, no code was getting executed. But here, if the condition is resulting in false, 5 greater than 13 is false, which is false, then the if block will be skipped. This block will be, the code which is there in the if block will be skipped, and the control will go to the else block, and the code inside the else block will get executed. A is less than b should be printed this time. You see, a is less than b. Either this block code of this block of code or this block of code will get executed based on the result of this condition, guys. Okay, that's what is if else selection statements or if else conditional statements. Hope it is clear. Then if is done, if else is done. Okay, based on here also one condition will be there, here also one condition is there, but in based on the condition, if the condition is true, the block will be executed. The condition is false, this block will be skipped from execution, no other block will get executed. But if the in this case of if else, based on the condition is true or false, if the condition is true, if block will get executed. If the condition is false, else block code inside the else block will get executed. Okay, anyhow one particular block will be executed based on the result of this condition. Okay, fine. Next one we have is if else selection statements are conditional statements. Okay, here till now only one condition was there. Okay, if you go here and check, guys, if you go here and check, only one condition is there. Based on this condition, this particular block of the code will get executed or not will be decided. And here also in if else also, in if else is another keyword, guys. If is one keyword, else is another keyword. Okay, if you are using if else selection statements or conditional statements, here also only one condition is there. Based on this condition, either if block will get executed or else block will get executed. Okay, fine. Now coming to the next one, that is if else. Okay, if else. This kind of selection statements or conditional statements can have more than one conditions. Okay, let me show you how we can use that. I'll create one more file here. I'll just name this file as conditional 2, or I'll just say 3.js. Conditional 3.js I'll write on. Okay, conditional 1, conditional 2, conditional 3. Okay, in this conditional 3, what I will write here is let a is equal to 5 comma b is equal to, I'll write many more. Okay, let's say a is equal to 9 comma b is equal to 7, c is equal to 6, d is equal to 4, e is equal to 1, like that. Multiple variables I'm creating. Okay, I created like this. Okay, now I'm going to write the code like if keyword will be there, circular bracket, starting of the if block, ending of the if block. In this, I'll give the condition a less than b is a condition. If a is less than b, I would like to print a is less than B. Okay, this particular string text I want to print, which is surrounded by double quotes, with the help of console.log, I would like to print. If the condition is true, this particular statement need to be printed. Now I'll write else keyword, give a space, and now copy the same if condition here. After the else keyword, copy this. Okay, instead of ending the else block like this, give a space and copy this if condition and paste it. Here, more than one conditions can exist. In normal if selection statements and if else selection statements, only one condition was there. But in case of if else okay, if else selection statements, more than one conditions can be there. Okay, so here if condition, else another if condition, after else another if condition is coming, that is called as else if. Here I'll write down else if b less than c. I'll write, okay, else if b less than c, console.log b is less than c. Then else if c less than d. You see, another else keyword came, and after that another if condition came. You can have any number of there is no limit, how many if conditions you want to have as part of this if else selection statements. Okay, you can have any number of if conditions inside this. More than one condition exists here. Okay, c is less than d. C is less than d. Else if d less than e. Okay, clg d is less than e. Then else if, okay, a is less than b, b is less than e, c is less than d, d is less than e, and finally I'll put else block only. I don't want to have any more conditions. I'll just write else block here. Okay, I would like to write else block here saying, okay, e is the least of all. E is the least of all. Okay, like this I would write the JavaScript code, guys. Okay, now just see what is happening. A is equal to 9, b is equal to 7, c is equal to 6, d is equal to 4, e is equal to 1. Okay, so 9 is less than 7. True or false? 9 is less than 7 is false. If this is false, this particular block of the code will be skipped from execution. Then after the else, another, you see if this particular thing is resulting in false, this will get skipped and the control will go to the next condition, next if condition. B is less than C. 7 less than 6, again false. This code will be skipped from execution, it will not be executed. Control will go to the next if condition after the else keyword. That is 6 less than 4, again false. This block of the code will also get skipped. The control will go to the next if condition. D less than E, 4 less than 1 is again false. This will get skipped. And the control will go here, and there is no more if condition left out. There is no more if condition left out. So else block will get executed. That is E is the list of the all will be printed. E is the list of the all will be printed. Just run this code and see that. Okay, if I run this code and see that, see that E is the list of all will be printed. Okay, E is the list of the all will be printed, guys. Okay, so this is what is the thing, guys. Okay, E is the list of the all will be printed. Done. Next. So next thing is what if here B is 17. In another case, the value of the value that is stored into the B is 17. What will happen in this case? A less than B, 9 less than 17, which is true. Okay, 9 less than 17 is true. If 9 less than 17 is true, if this condition is resulting in true, which block will get executed? If block will get executed. A is less than B will be printed. All the remaining blocks will be skipped. only the block for which this condition has resulted in true for the first time will be skipped. That is A is less than B will be printed. Remaining all blocks will be skipped from execution, guys. Just see here what is going to happen. A is less than B will be printed. A is less than B will be printed. What if I just remove this 1 from here and I'll put 16 here, okay? 9, 7, 16, 4, 1. What will happen? A less than B. 9 less than 7. False. 9 less than 7 is false. If this is false, this particular block of the code won't get executed in the if block, and we'll go to the next if block where B less than C. 7 less than 16, which is true. B 7 less than 16 is true. Since it is less than true, we'll go inside this, and B is less than C will be printed in the output console, and remaining all blocks will be skipped. One of the condition is satisfied in this if else selection statements, that only particular block will get executed. Remaining all blocks will be skipped. Here B is less than C should be printed. Let's see. B is less than C will be printed. I'll remove this 1 here and put 1 before the 4. What will happen in this case? A less than B. 9 less than 7, which is false. This block will be skipped. Next condition, B less than C. 7 less than 6. Again false. This block will be skipped. C less than D. 6 less than 14, which is true. If it is true, what will happen? We'll go inside this particular if block for which the condition became true for the first time, and C is less than D will be printed, and remaining blocks will be skipped. These blocks won't be executed. Just run this, you see, C is less than D got printed. Now, I'll remove this 1 from here and put a 1 at the end. What will happen? Let's see. Okay, so here you see A is less than B. 9 less than 7, false. This block got skipped. B less than C. 7 less than 6, false. This block got skipped. C less than D. 6 less than 4, false. This block got skipped. D less than E. 4 less than 11. 4 less than 11. 4 less than 11 is true or false? It is true. 4 is less than 11 is true. So we'll go inside this last else if block, and in that D is less than E got printed. Okay, D is less than E will be printed, guys. D is less than E will be printed now. Just see here, D is less than E will be printed. What about the else block? That won't get executed. Only the condition for which conditional block for which the condition has been satisfied, only that block will be executed, and remaining all blocks won't get executed. If all the conditions are resulting in false, finally the else block will get executed. If one of the condition is true, only that particular block of the code will get executed. Remaining of the block of the code, including the else block, won't get executed. Okay, this is what you need to learn about this. Okay, if else selection statements. Okay, so with this, I completed the 3 conditional or selection statements we have in the JavaScript. That is if else, and if else. Okay, now we have one more thing, that is a switch case, guys. Okay, I'll explain more about the switch case in the next session, guys. Okay, the next session I'll cover this. Okay, I need to cover this switch case in depth. For now, these are very simple things, so I covered this in these 3 conditional statements or selection statements in this session. In the next session, I'm going to cover the switch case selection statements in detail for you. So only this one I'm not covering in this session. I'll take this to the next session so that the length of the session doesn't go too big. Okay, so with that note, guys, let's meet in the next session. So that's all for this session. Let's meet in the next session. Thank you. Bye. Hello all. Welcome to another session in this course. As part of this session, I'm going to cover the next topic under the flow control statements. That is, under the conditional or selection statements category of the flow control statements, I'm going to cover the switch case. Okay, in the previous session, I have covered about the other conditional or selection statements like if else, if else, right? But in this session, I'm going to cover switch case for you. Okay, after that, in the next session, we'll go for the iterative or looping statements and so on. Okay, for now, switch case. So let's get started with the switch case under the conditional selection statements of the flow control statements. Okay, so what is switch case? So let me go here and let me tell you under the conditional slash selection statements, under conditional or selection statements, okay, we have different conditional or selection statements like if else. Then we have the next one as if if else, okay, and followed by the last one, that is switch case. Okay, switch case. These are the 4 items we have under this conditional or selection statements in this, but the first 3 are already covered in the previous session. Now in this session, I'm going to cover the switch case. Whatever I highlighted in red color, that I'm going to cover in this session. Okay. So let's get started with the switch case. So here, let me write the code for the switch case. Okay. So how the switch case will work. Okay. Otherwise, before I explain anything about a switch case, let me explain something for you guys. Okay. So that you can understand switch case properly. Okay. Before I explain practical, before I write a program for explaining about switch case or practical demonstrating the switch case, right? Let me explain something. Assume that there is a hotel. Okay. Let's assume that this is a hotel. In this hotel, this area where chefs will be working. Okay. Just visualize like there is a hotel and in the hotel, some chefs are actually preparing the food. Now, in the hotel, there are some tables placed. Okay. There are some tables placed so that the guests can arrive at this hotel and they can get seated at this hotel tables and they can have some food. Okay. So let's say one guest has come, the customer has come otherwise. Okay. The customer. Okay. The customer has come here. The customer has come here to the hotel and sat on one of the table. The customer has come here and sat on one of the table. The moment the customer came and sat on this particular table, from the other side, from the hotel side, okay, a person we generally called as a waiter. Okay, waiter has come. What is the what the waiter generally does in a hotel? The waiter will, the moment you sit and get comfortable at your table, right? The waiter will come and ask you what you want, sir, right? So whatever you ask, that only the waiter will bring, right? Whatever you ask, that only the waiter will bring, subject to if that particular item is available in the hotel. Okay, the same thing will happen. For example, you are asking for pasta. Okay, you asked for pasta. The waiter will go to the kitchen and create the order, and once the order is prepared, the food item pasta is prepared, the pasta will be served. Since you asked for pasta, pasta will be served. If you're asking for pizza, pizza will be served. If you ask for noodles, noodles will be served. If you ask for some other item like burger, burger will be served. If you ask for sandwich, sandwich will be served. If you ask for some item which is not there in the hotel, waiter will simply say that we don't have such item at our hotel, sir. We only have these items known as pasta, pizza, burger, noodles. Okay, sandwich, like that. The waiter will say. So this is what is the thing, right? I want to convert this scenario into a program. Okay, if I have to convert this scenario into a program where whatever the customer is asking, the waiter has to bring that, I know that only item. Okay, if that is the case, we can do something like this. Okay, let me go here and create a new file, guys. Okay, I'll just write switch demo.js. Okay, switch demo.js, and here I'll write the code here. What I'll write here is I'll just write let let food item. Okay, let food item is equal to, I'll write like this, let food item is equal to, let food item is equal to, what is the food item? Let's say the food item is pasta. Okay, the food item is pasta. Like this I'll write let food item is equal to pasta. Now switch. This is the syntax, guys, which is a keyword followed by circular brackets will be the starting of the switch case, ending of the switch case. In between the circular brackets, I need to place this food item. Simple. Switch food item. Okay. Now, in this switch case, I can create multiple cases. Okay. First case. What is the keyword I'm using here? Freshly. Switch is one keyword. Case is another keyword. Okay. Case is another keyword that we need in the while writing the switch selection statements or switch conditional statements. After the case, you provide double quotes and give an item like pizza, and put a colon symbol here. Okay, colon symbol here. After the colon symbol, whatever the code you want to write under the case as a block. Okay, that you can write here. For example, I would like to write sample print statement here. Here is your pizza. Okay, when this particular case got executed, right, this particular statement should be run. Okay, then after the code under the case, this particular case got is completed, then provide break statement. Okay, there's something known as break statement. I'll explain more about this break statement. Okay, why we need to write break. You see three keywords came. Switch case, switch is one keyword, case is another keyword, break is another keyword came. Okay, now second case pasta colon console dot log. Here is your pasta. Okay, here is your pasta. Then again, I'll write break statement. The next one, again case, pizza, pasta, noodles. Okay, for noodles case, I'll write, okay, here are your noodles. Here are your noodles. And again, I'll write a break statement. Okay, I'll write a break statement here. Then case, you see for every case, I'm giving some label for the case. After the colon symbol, I'm writing some code. And to end the case, I'm writing the break statement. Okay. We don't have open curly brace and close curly brace here. Okay. The case will start with the colon symbol and we generally have to write the break to break the case. Okay. So like that. Okay. So for now, you just imagine like that. Okay. Now the next item here is let's go with some items. Let's go with this only three items: pizza, pasta, noodles. Okay. Then I'll finally write default. Okay. Another keyword is there, fourth keyword, default. In this, while explaining the switch case, you are learning different keywords. Switch is one keyword, case is one keyword, break is one keyword, and default is another keyword. Okay. Default, colon, and here write down console.log. Okay. We only serve pizza, pasta, noodles. Okay. If you ask some other item apart from this pizza, pasta, noodles, this default case will get executed and you'll get this printed. Okay. Fine. Now this is the thing, guys. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, let food item is equal to pasta. Switch food item case pasta case noodles default. This what is the syntax of the switch case, guys? This is how the switch case is one of the example of the switch case where switch off one item. Okay, you just write it here inside this switch case. Starting of the switch case, ending of the switch case will have multiple cases. You can have any number of cases. There is no limit. But at the end, you can write default case. If none of these cases matches, they'll directly go with the default case. For example, if you're asking for pasta, the food item is pasta. Pasta matching with pizza. Is pasta matching with pizza? No. This case will be skipped. It will not be executed. This case will be ignored. The next case will be verified. Okay. Pasta. Food item is pasta. Pasta matching with pasta? Yes. Since pasta is matching with pasta, the code inside this case will get executed. That is, here is your pasta will be printed. After that got printed, the next statement is break. Break will take you out of the switch case. You'll come out of the switch case. No more cases will get executed. Break will break the switch case and you'll be out. Okay. So just see here what I'm doing. I'll just trying to run the code to see whether here is your pasta only is getting. If you are asking for pasta, okay, this switch case is like a waiter and this is like a customer. Okay, this statement is like a customer in this example. In this example, the customer who has sought on the table is this particular line, and the one who is actually okay uh, serving. Okay, the waiter who is actually serving you is switch case. Okay, if you ask the waiter for pasta, waiter should serve you the pasta only, right? So this switch case will serve you the pasta. If you ask for pasta, switch case will serve you for pasta. If you ask for pizza, the switch case will serve you only pizza. If you ask for noodles, the switch case will only serve for noodles. If you ask for some other item like a sandwich or something, since sandwich is not there here, default case will be executed. Okay. Now we only serve pizza, pasta, noodles will be printed. Okay. Fine. Anyhow, I'll just going to show you switch demo.js. Run it and see that what is happening. Okay. There is a mistake in this. Let me clear it. Node switch demo.js. Run this. Here is your pasta will be printed. Here is your pasta will be printed, guys. Got it clear? Here is your pasta will be printed. Now, next item. Next item is what if I provide here something like noodles? If I provide noodles, what will happen in this case? Noodles matching with pizza? No. This case will be skipped. Noodles matching with pasta? No. This case will be skipped. Noodles matching with noodles? Yes. We'll go inside this case and here are your noodles will be printed and break will take you out of the switch case. Now run this, you see, here are your noodles got printed. Next one. Next one, if I ask for pizza, what will happen? The first item itself, right? Pizza matching with pizza. Yes, it's matching. Okay. Pizza matching with pizza. Food item matching with pizza. Yes, food item is having pizza. Pizza matching with pizza. So we'll go inside the switch case and here is your pizza will be printed and break will take you out of the switch case so that none of the other cases will be executed. Okay. Only this case should get executed. If you ask for pizza, they should not serve you the pasta, noodles and all those stuff, right? That's the reason. Okay. Here is your pizza. Now, what if you ask for something which is not there here? For example, if I ask for burger, okay, if I ask for burger, is burger matching with pizza? No, case is switched. Is burger matching with pasta? No, the case is switched. Is burger matching with noodles? No, the case is switched. Okay, if none of the cases matches, then directly we'll go to the default case. We only serve pizza, pasta, noodles will be printed. And since it is the last case, there is no need of the break. Okay. Anyhow, you are going to come out of the switch case after this default case. There is no need to put break here. That's not required. Okay. You see, we only serve pizza, pasta, noodles got printed in the output. Okay. Fine. Now, now here food item is what? Food item is it's a string literal. What if I give some numerical literal apart from the apart from this string literal? Can I give the numerical literal here? Yes, we can give the numerical literal. Case 0, case 1, case 2. Okay, case 2. Like this, if I give, you can do that. Okay, whatever the item that you are giving in the switch case here, that condition you are giving here in the switch case, or expression you are giving the switch case, okay, which is nothing but a value or a string literal or whatever it is, that should match with the case value. Okay, so 2 matching with 0, no, pizza won't be printed. Okay, this case will be ignored. 2 here, 2 is there matching with 1, yes. Sorry, no. Okay, this will be skipped. 2 matching with 2, yes. Here are your noodles will be printed. Break will take you to the switch case. Okay, just run here and see what is happening. You see, in place of the string literal, I have provided the number. Okay, numerical literal. Okay, still it is working. Here are your noodles got printed because this 2 is matching with 2. Similarly, you can give boolean values and many other things are possible here, guys. But if I have to make this program look good, it's better to have it in a string manner. Okay, so I'll just say Control Z otherwise. Okay, so I don't have to change. I'll just everything. I'll change it everything. You see, burger. And if I ask for pasta, pasta will be served. Okay, all these things you already know. Now, what will happen if you don't write the break? Let me remove the break for a while. Okay, let me remove the break for a while. Okay, let's wherever the break is there, I'll remove it. Now, if I ask for pasta, if I ask for pasta, and here food item matching with pasta matching with pizza, no, this case will be skipped. Next case, we'll go here to the ninth line. Pasta matching with pasta, yes. You'll go inside this. Here is your pasta will be printed. Here is your pasta will be printed. After that, is there any break statement? No. If there is no break statement here, what will happen? If there is no break statement, automatically you will go inside the another case, that is noodles. Okay, even though it's not matching also, you are asked for pasta, but since there is no break statement, you entered into the pasta case. But after that, there is no, by default you have an entry into every case. Okay, noodles here you asked for pasta, but here is your pasta, here are your noodles, and at the same time we only serve pizza, pasta, noodles also will be printed. Okay, so these you will fall down, guys. Okay, from wherever you enter into one of the case, right, from there till the end of this switch case, you will fall down. Okay, all the statements till the end of switch case will get executed. So just see here what is happening. Node switch demo.js. You see, you asked for only pasta here. The customer is asking for pasta, but since the switch case, the waiter doesn't have the breaks here. Okay, he entered into pasta. Pasta, he served the pasta. After serving the pasta, waiter has also served you the noodles because you are falling down. Because of there is no break statement here, you are falling down till the end. Okay, here are your noodles, and at the same time, waiter is saying we only serve pizza, pasta, noodles. Okay, so this is a problem. That is the reason we have to put break. Okay, so if I put pizza here without breaks, first case itself is matching. Here is your pizza, no break. Here is your pasta, no break. Here are your noodles, no break. We only serve pizza, pasta, everything will be printed. Okay. Just see here what is happening. All the statements, all these statements in the switch case will get executed. You see, all the 4 statements. Here is your pizza, here is your pasta, here are your noodles. If we only serve pizza, pasta, noodles, everything will be printed. Clear? Okay. This is what is the thing that will happen. Okay. So that's the reason we have to put break statement. Okay. Some people will intentionally remove the break statement according to their logic, but generally we have to put break statements, guys. Okay. So this is what is a switch case, guys. This is what is a switch case, and you can know more about the switch case here. Like me, I collected some notes for you. So whatever the notes I have not taken you to the notes yet, right? These notes I'll take you as a to summarize this conditional or selection statements. Let's go through these 2 notes. Okay. In the next session we'll go to the iterative or looping statements. But for now, let's go through these notes to cross check that we have understood everything or not. Okay. Just to cross check whether we have understood everything or not. Let's go through these notes. Okay, explain conditional statements in JavaScript in an easy, organized, and step-by-step manner. Okay, so what are conditional statements? So for whatever the four statements I have covered so far, what are the 4 statements? If else, if else, if else, switch. All these 4 are the conditional or selection statements, guys. Based on one condition, based on a condition or conditional expression, some set of code will get either executed or not executed. Okay, if the condition is resulting in true, okay, the code either will get executed or not executed. Okay, based on the result of this condition, like true or false, the code that is there in the program will or will not get executed. Okay, you see this is like this, guys. Okay? Conditional statements are something like, if it is raining, take an umbrella, otherwise wear sunglasses. Okay, if it is raining, take umbrella, otherwise if else, right? If it is raining, take umbrella, else wear the sunglasses. This is a real world example anyhow. Okay, such kind of things if you want to represent in the programming, you have to use conditional statements or selection statements, whatever you call in the JavaScript, you can use. Types of the conditional statements in JavaScript are if else, if else, and switch statements. Apart from this, they are also including ternary operator. You can also include, guys. Okay, I already covered about this ternary operator in the operators part. Okay, operator session. So I'm not covering this as part of this session. Either you can put this in operators part, or you can also put this ternary operator in conditional statements part. That's okay, but majorly these are the four conditional statements, guys. If else, if else, and switch statement. Ternary is already covered in the previous sessions. Then coming to the if statements. Okay, you already have understood this if statement, right? If A is greater than B, then do something like that. Okay, if else also I covered in the previous session with example. Another example is there. Yeah, you see, in either in if or if else, if only one condition will be there, here also one condition is there, in if else also, in if also one condition, in if else also one condition. But coming to the if else, more than one condition. You see, one, two, three. Is there any limit for how many number of conditions? No. Final part will the else block. Okay. And coming to the switch case, okay. Here, what about the switch case? Here, one conditional expression kind of stuff will be there that should match with any of these cases. Okay, that can match with any of the cases. So, what if tomorrow, if you have to convert the switch case into the if else, what will happen? Is it possible? Can I convert this switch into the if else? Yes, that is possible, guys. Let me write it here itself. If I have to convert this particular item into, I'll just copy this. I'll just copy this and for the same switch case, what will happen if I write the if else logic, if else dot js. Okay, if I go here and paste the code, and here let food item is there, and here instead of writing like this, I'll write if food item, okay, dot is double equal to, sorry, if food item is double equal to pizza, like this I have to write food item double equal to pizza, then do this. Okay, then just press tab key here, and then else if food item double equal to pasta, starting of the else if block, and this line, paste it. Okay, the next else if food item is equal to, is double equal to, is equal to noodles, then we'll be printing this part. Finally, else this one, you write like this. This also works in the same fashion, guys. This also works in the same fashion of the switch case. You can either write the switch case, or you can write if else kind of things. Okay, but here, how many times you are using food item in these conditions? How many times you are using the food item? 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, if more cases are there, more times you have to use a food item. But in this switch case, only one time you are using. You see, in the beginning only you are using. You are not comparing food item is equal to pizza, food item is equal to pasta, food item noodles every time, right? Here, what is happening? Food item is equal to pizza. Is if it is equal to food item is equal to pasta, food item is equal to noodles. Like that, you are comparing. Multiple times you have to use this food item. Okay. In every condition, I have to use a food item variable. That's one thing that is not there in the switch case. Second thing about this is here only equal condition is there, right? Here only equal condition is there. You see here food item pizza. Food item is equal to pizza or not? Food item is equal to pasta or not? Food item is equal to noodles or not? Can I say food item is equal to pizza, greater than pizza here? Can the switch case can be, can have greater than, less than kind of stuff? No, it's only equal. Okay. So one thing that is not possible with the switch cases, you cannot have these complex conditions. Equal to conditions are there, but greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, not greater than or equal to, all these things won't be there here in the switch case. When you are writing this food item in the switch circular brackets, right, it's automatically equal to pizza or not, equal to pasta, not equal to noodles or not equal to, or less than, or like greater than, less than or equal to, greater than, or not possible in the switch case. If you have to go with less than, greater than, equal to, less than or equal to, all those stuff, then you have to better go with this kind of things. You have to create complex conditions here. Okay. Fine. Otherwise, you have to come to the switch case is straightforward equal to by default it is there, and you don't have to explicitly mention food item equal to pizza because automatically it will understand. Okay. To simplify the kind of situation where the condition is equal to, then you can go with the switch case. Okay. Either you can go with the if else, and most of the cases people will go with the switch case in this kind of situation when you have multiple options for the same condition, and if you are comparing the equal to operator here, then go with the switch case. Simple words. Okay. So not always will be using the if else if, you see it will become lengthy. You see the number of lines also will become lengthy. It doesn't look good. But switch case is more readable. Okay, more looks more better and all those stuff. Okay, then yeah, I'll be explaining more about that, guys. Okay, I'll be explaining more about that switch case now. Let's go here. One more article is there. Okay, let me open the notes and explain you about the switch case here. I hope you understood what exactly is the difference between the if else and switch case. Okay. Okay, you see, the switch statement in JavaScript is a control structure used to perform different actions based on different conditions. It is an alternative to multiple statements and particularly useful when you need to compare a single value against a series of possible matches. Okay, single value across possible matches. Okay, in that case, we generally go with the switch case. Okay, okay, here expression switch expression will be there, and this expression is by default equal to kind of comparison will be done. Okay. The expression is evaluated only once. Whatever the expression you are writing is, only one time you have written the expression. But coming to the if else, if you are going with the if else kind of this, multiple conditional expressions will be there. Multiple conditional condition expressions will be there. They have to be evaluated multiple times. But here, only one time the expression will be there. The value of the expression is compared with the value of each case. If it matches, okay, triple equal to comparison, corresponding block of code will be executed. The break statement prevents and all, no match. Already all these things I have explained you. Okay, there's nothing here, right? String, you can either put a number here or you can put a string here, whatever it may be. Okay, string comparison. Okay, fall through behavior also. If break statements are not there, what will happen? I also covered. Default case is optional. You don't. It's not compulsory to have the default case, guys. Okay, if you don't have the default case and if you're asking for some item which is not there in this case, what will happen? For example, if I ask for burger, you will not get any output, guys. Okay, you'll not get any output. You see, no output will come. Okay, that if you put default case, output will come. It's not compulsory, guys. Default case is optional. Okay, default case is optional. Data types allowed in the switch cases, I explained you with the numbers and strings. You can try with boolean, okay, expressions and variables and all. You can try. Okay, in place of this food item, it's no need to be string. It can be a number. It can be a boolean value. It can be anything. Okay, so just go with that. Then, fine. What is the difference between switch case and if else? Compare one value with many. Okay, here one value is being compared with many items. Single expression compared with different case items. Right? Then complex conditions or ranges. Okay, for complex here complex conditions are not possible, guys. Here you cannot write a greater than or equal to b and double and b less than or equal to c, like that kind of big complex conditions you cannot provide here. It is very simple, straightforward. Okay, but here in if condition you can give any type of conditions. Okay, you can make the things complex. Food item not equal to, okay, burger. This kind of conditions can I give in the switch case? No, this kind of conditions are not possible in the switch case, guys. Only straightforward triple equal to are possible. Okay, triple equal to is possible. Okay, you can convert this triple equal to into if else. Okay, here triple equal to, in switch case by default it is triple equal to. So that's the thing, guys. Okay, that's another thing, like complex conditions are possible only in if else. Okay, like that. Okay, so use switch to replace long chains of if else for equality checks. Okay, for equality checks, replace switch case with the, okay, so use switch case to replace if you have lengthy if else kind of stuff, instead of writing multiple conditional expressions and writing complex conditions and all, right, you can simply go with the switch case for simplicity. But if you have complex conditions, then you have to better go with the if else kind of stuff. Okay. Fine then. Hope guys you got some idea about the switch case here. I tried my level best in explaining. Hope you got the idea of what exactly is switch case, and with this we are done with the conditional or selection statements, guys. Okay, if else, and switch all these items are completed. In the next session, I'm going to cover about the iterative or looping statements. Till then, see you. Bye bye. Hello all. Welcome to another session of this course. As part of this session, I am going to cover the next topic under the flow control statements, that is iterative or looping statements. Second category of flow control statements I'm going to cover in this session, which are nothing but iterative or looping statements. In the previous session, I have covered or completed this conditional selection statements of the flow control statements. But now, in this session, I'm going to cover iterative looping statements. So let's get started. Just for reference, I have these notes, guys. Okay. Let me copy these notes and, put it here. We'll be using these notes as a reference. Fine. So these are the notes. Okay. These are the notes. So let's come back here. And here, let me write down under the flow control statement, the second category we have is iterative, iterative, or you can also call them as iterative statements or looping statements. Okay. What are the different iterative or looping statements we have in the JavaScript? If I have to, if I have to list down the list of iterative or looping statements we have in the JavaScript, the first one comes as while loop. Okay. The first one is while loop. Followed by the while loop, we have the next one as do while loop. Next one is do while loop. Then third one here we have here is for loop. Okay, for loop. Then we have fourth one as for in loop. Okay, the next one after the for loop is for in loop, and the last one we have is for for off loop. Okay, these are the different iterative or looping statements we have in the JavaScript. Out of this, five iterative or looping flow control statements, in this session, I am going to cover only these three items. First one is while loop I am going to cover. After while loop, I am going to cover do while loop. Then I am going to cover the for loop. Three items are enough. What about these other two items? They will be explained to you not in this session but in the upcoming sessions, because I need to explain for in loop with objects, whereas I need to explain for off loop with iterables like array list and so on. Okay, so I didn't cover the objects or arrays kind of iterables at this point of time till now. So these two items, okay, these two items I'll be postponing to the upcoming sessions, because this is not the right time for me to explain this two kind of loops. When the right time comes, I'm going to cover what is for in loop, what is for out loop. Okay. For now, at this point of time, these three loops or three iterative statements are enough to get started. Later, I'll cover the remaining two. Okay. So let me get started with the while loop first. After that, I'll go with the do while loop, then for loop. Okay. So for that, let me launch the editor. Let me launch the Visual Studio Code editor, guys, where I'm demonstrating the JavaScript code for you. Let me close all this stuff, the previous files. Let me delete also. They are part of the previous sessions. So let me delete them. I don't need them anymore. So right click here, delete. That's it. After that, create a new JavaScript file where I'm going to explain about the while loop first. Okay. I'll say while loop.js. Okay. I'm just giving some name of the JavaScript file and say .js and press enter. Okay. So when I select this and when I create this JavaScript file, it looks like this, guys. Okay. I need to write the code. How to write the code? Let I is equal to 1. Okay. Let I is equal to 1. Okay. This is the first statement I am writing. Let I is equal to 1. I'm creating the variable I. You can create any variable. It can be A, B, C, D, but I generally use I in this case of while demonstrating the while loop, because I actually, I can also relate I with iterations, right? So let I is equal to 1 while circular brackets, starting of the while loop and ending of the while loop. This is starting of the loop, this is ending of the loop, and here while is the keyword. After the while keyword, we have the circular bracket. Inside this circular bracket, there should be, we have to create one condition which either results in true or false. Okay. So how these loops generally work? Before actually I demonstrate this code for you, that is while loop for you, you need to understand how this iterative or looping statements actually work. For that, let me take one example here. Let's say assume that this is a JavaScript file, guys. Okay, this is a JavaScript file. In this JavaScript file, there are some lines of code. Line 1, line 2, line 3, then line 4, then line 5, then line 6, then line 7, then line 8, then line 9, then line 10, and so on. Okay. So there is a JavaScript file in that multiple lines of code is there. Okay. I'll be starting executing from this line, guys. Okay. After three lines of code got executed. Okay. Assume that after this first, second, third, and lines of code got executed, I want to run these lines of code multiple times. One time, two times, three times, four times, five times, six times, and then continuous execution. You see, I have repeatedly run these three lines of code, that is after first, second, third, fourth line, fifth line, sixth line. Okay, fourth, fifth, sixth lines of the code I have repeatedly run multiple times. That is six times. I have repeatedly have executed the same lines of code multiple times. That is six times the fourth, fifth, sixth lines got executed six times, guys. Okay, fine then. Okay, so we can run the same lines of code multiple times. For this purpose, we have to use while loop, do while loop, for loop. You can also use other type of loop, but in this sessions, I am going to cover this three loops for you. Okay. How to use while loop to run the same lines of the code multiple times is the first thing that I'm going to cover in this session. Okay, while I is less than, okay, equal to 10. While I is less than or equal to 10. Okay, like this you have tried the syntax of the while loop, guys. Okay, while keyword, circular bracket, initially the value of the I is 1. Then I am saying I less than or equal to 10. This is a condition that will result in either true or false. Here I'll write console.log. Okay, I'll just print the value of the I. Now if I run this code, what will be printed? If I run this particular code, what will be printed, guys? If I run this code as it is, what will be printed, do you think? Initially, I is 1. 1 is, I is 1, right? So 1 is less than or equal to 10 is true. We'll go inside the while loop. If this condition is true, we'll go inside the while loop. Okay? If this particular condition is true, we'll go inside the while loop. So before this, let me explain one more item, guys. You know how the while loop will work. Let me tell you, okay? So the code of the execution will be something like this, right? The code of the execution will be something like this, and here some while loop condition is there. For example, some looping condition, okay? Or else I'll just write loop here instead of while or do while. I'll write some loop, okay? Loop and some, it may be while loop or do while loop. Some condition is there, okay? Some condition, okay? This particular condition may result in either true or false. If this condition in this particular while loop or do while loop or for loop, this particular condition is resulting in true, let's say, okay? If this particular condition is resulting in true, let's say there is some block, okay? Block of code is there, okay? Loop block of code, okay? Some block of code is there. If this condition is resulting in true, what happens? This particular block of code inside this loop will get executed. After it gets executed, okay? After it gets executed, the control will come back to the after it gets executed, the control will come back to the loop, guys. Okay. Like this, the control will come back. Once this particular loop condition, okay, while executing, if you encounter any loop condition and if this condition is true, that particular block of the code which is there inside the loop will get executed. Once it got executed, that's fine. Okay. What if this particular condition results in false? What if this particular condition results in false? Okay. If this particular condition results in false, guys, okay, if this particular condition results in false, if this particular condition results in false, okay, then we'll come out of this loop. So how the execution will happen? Execution will stop something like this. Okay, let me draw something else. Okay, the execution will go like this, and here comes the condition. Condition will be verified. The condition, if it is resulting in true, the code, execution will go like this, and this block of code will be executed for the first time. After the block of the code got executed, the control will come back to this same condition. Okay, and if the condition is again true, second time also if the condition is true, again the execution will happen. Execution will go in this direction and block of code will be executed for second time and the control will again come back to the condition. Again, if the condition is true, for the third time also will go in the same direction, block of code inside the loop will get executed and again at the end, after executing all this block of code, the control will come back to the condition. Again, if it is true, same block of code will be executed and it will come to the condition. Again, if it is true, the same block of code will be executed and come back to the condition. Again, if it is true, the same block of code will be executed and come back to the condition. Finally, when the condition becomes false, we'll come out of this loop. When the condition becomes false, we'll come out of this loop. Okay. So this is how we need to understand the iterative or looping statements, guys. Based on this loop condition, the condition is resulting in true. That many number of times, how many times this condition is of the loop is getting true, that many times the block of the code of the loop will get executed. And once the condition results in false, will come out of the loop, guys. Okay. So the same thing here I explained, right? So now come back and imagine whatever it is happening here. Okay. Initially I is 1, guys. So is this condition of the loop condition, that is while loop condition, is true or false? Here while keyword is there, so it is a while loop. While followed by the condition in circular brackets, I less than or equal to 10, 1 less than or equal to 10, which is correct. One should be either less than 10 or equal to 10. It is 1 less than 10. So this condition is true. If it is resulting in true, we'll go inside the while loop, and here console.log of I. What is the current value of I? So 1 will be printed. Okay. The current value of I is 1. 1 will be printed. Now we'll come to the end of this loop. Once we come to the end of the loop, from here, the condition, the control will go to this condition. Okay. And check whether this condition is still true or false. Okay. So still the value of I has not changed anywhere, guys. So I is still 1 only. So 1 is less than or equal to 10. Again true. We'll go inside. Again the value of I, which is 1, will be printed. We'll come to the end of the loop. Again from here we'll come to this condition. I is less than or equal to I value has not changed anywhere. So value of I is still 1 only. The way it is in the beginning. After this two loops also, two iterations of this loop also, the value of I is still 1. 1 less than or equal to 10. Again true. We'll go inside the loop, and here console.log. 1 will be printed. End of the loop. Again come to the condition. Again we'll come back to the condition, guys. Once you come back to the condition again, the value of I is still 1 only. Again true. We'll go inside. Again 1 will be printed. Again the condition is true. Again 1 will be printed. Again the condition is true because I is 1. Again 1 will be printed. Again true. Is there any end for this? Is there any end for printing 1? No. Because the condition is always true. Okay. The situation here is this particular condition is always true. There is no matter the value of the I is getting changed in this particular program, because of which this while loop condition is always true. So one will get printed infinite times. Okay. It will not stop printing it. The one will get set printed infinite time. For example, if I say node and the name of the JavaScript file and JSC file print, you see the one is kept on printing as it will not stop. Okay. The one will kept on printing. It is not going to stop. Okay. There is no end for this. Okay, you see, one is blinking here. You see, one is blinking here. It's kept on printing. It's going on, going on, going on like that somehow. Okay, so it is an infinite loop, guys. Okay, it will not stop if the condition is always true. The while loop will result in while loop will iterate infinite times. This is one thing you need to understand. Okay, so kill terminal. I'm just killing the terminal, guys, and let's close this. Have killed the terminal manually, and I'll just go here and open a new terminal from here. Now it's kind of good. Okay, it's from infinite loop, you cannot stop the output, right? You have to kill the terminal. That's the only way. Okay, the next thing here is, no, I don't want to print this value of the one infinite times. What I want to do next is let I is equal to 1 while I is less than or equal to 10 console.log of I. If I write like this, and if I for the first iteration, for the first iteration, I is equal to 1, 1 less than or equal to 10 is true. Okay, we'll go inside the while loop, and the value of I, that is 1, will get printed here. Okay, the value of the I, that is 1, will get printed here. Okay, and the end up, we'll come to the end of the loop, and we'll go back to this particular condition where I less than or equal to 10. I value will be always 1, right? So what I have to do different in this particular code is I'll just write I plus plus. In one of the previous session, I explained about this post increment operator, right? Post increment after the variable, if the operator is coming, that is called as a post increment operator. Okay. Either pre increment or post increment you can use in this particular stage. It doesn't matter. So what this particular statement will do, it will increment the value of the variable I by 1. Okay. Every time one iteration completes, okay, the value of the I will increase by 1. Okay. So let's get started here how this program will work. Initially, the value of I is 1. 1 less than or equal to 10 is true. 1 less than or equal to 10 is true. If it is true, we'll go inside the while loop. And here, 1 will be printed. Here, 1 will be printed. After 1 got printed here, I plus plus, I will become 1. 1 plus 1 is the value of I, that is 1, will be incremented by 1. That is, I will become 2, guys. When I becomes 2, 2 less than or equal to 10. 2 less than or equal to 10. You see the value of I got changed from 1 to 2. If 2 is less than or equal to 10, this condition will become true and will go inside the loop, and when you say console.log of I means the value of I, that is 2, will get printed. Okay, the value of I, that is 2, will get printed. Okay, then I plus plus I will become 3. We'll go to the end of the loop, and I is has become 3, 3 less than or equal to 10, which is true, 3 less than or equal to 10, which is true. The condition is true. Here, when I print I, the value of I, that is current value of the I, that is 3, will get printed. The value of I, that is 3, will get printed. Then I plus plus I will become 4 here. The value of the I will become from 3 to 4, incremented by 1. At the end of the loop, they will come back to the condition, and 4 less than or equal to 10 is still true, will go inside the loop. The current value of the I, that is 4, will get printed. Then I plus plus I will become 5 here. Okay, once we come back to this condition, 5 less than or equal to 10 is true, 5 will be printed here. Then I will become 6. To go to this condition, 6 less than or equal to 10, again true. 6 will be printed, will go inside the loop, and 6 will be get printed. I will become 7. 7 less than, again true, will go inside the loop, and 7 will get printed. Then 8 will come to the end of the loop, and this, I became 8, and this condition is still true, will go inside the loop, and the current value of the I, that is 8, will get printed. Then I plus plus I will become 9, end of the loop. I'll go back to the condition here, 9 less than or equal to 10, which is still true, will come inside, and 9 will get printed. Then I plus plus I will become 10, end of the loop, and we'll come back to the condition where 10 less than or equal to 10, which is true. And when I print I, the value of that I, that is 10, will get printed. Then I plus plus I will finally become 11. Okay. End of the loop, and will come to this condition where 11 less than or equal to 10. 11 is neither less than 10 nor equal to 10. Okay. This condition for the first time is getting false, will come out of this loop. So 1 to 10 will get printed here in this case. Okay. If you run this code, you see only 1 to 10 will be printed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will get printed. So this is how we need to write the while loop, guys. Okay, this is how this one of the basic example. Like a lot of people will explain you when you when you join any trainings or something, right? When you go through some recordings or trainings or whatever it is, this is a basic program everyone will teach you. Okay, so initially the value of the I is 1, and I need to iterate this loop until this condition becomes false. Okay, when the condition will become false, when the I becomes 11, the condition will become false. Initially, the condition is true when the I is 1, and in every iteration for 10 iterations, the condition is true. But at the 11th, when I became 11, in that iteration, the condition failed and we came out of the loop. So 1 to 10 got printed. Okay, fine. This is how I have run the code, and you can clearly see that 1 to 10 got printed. Fine. This is also good. This is also good. Next thing here you need to understand here is, next thing that you have to understand here is, I explained about two possibilities. What if the condition is always true? Okay, we'll be iterating this loop. If the condition of this while loop is always true, we'll be iterating this loop infinite times. Okay, what if the condition is to some iterations it is true, and at some point of time it will become false. Okay, to some iterations the condition is true, and at some point of iteration it become false. Only that for that particular iterations only the value of the I will get printed. Okay, limited number of iterations. A kind of a count of iterations will be run. Okay. Next thing here is, what if here, if I give I is equal to 15 as it is. When a third case, this is a third case, guys. When I give I is equal to 15, what will happen? The value of the I is 15. 15 less than or equal to 10. First of all, only the condition is false. In earlier two cases, it was like this. Okay. Earlier two cases, the condition was something like this. Okay. Always true. Condition was always true. That has resulted in infinite loop. Okay. The iterations were done infinite times. Okay. They will not stop. Second case was that initially true. Initially the condition, initially, initially condition, initially true, but later false. After some iterations, the condition became false. That means a count of iterations will be done. Next thing here is, okay, initially false. Initially false. If it is false initially only, okay, for the first only it is false. Here, 0 times, okay, 0 times the iterations will be done. Here, infinite times the iterations will be done. Here, 0 times. Here, okay, countable times iterations will be done. Okay, the while loop will be iterated. If the condition of the while loop is always true, it is infinite times it will iterate the while loop. Okay, or any loop. If the condition is initially true but later turns to false, countable number of times the while loop will get iterated. Third thing is, initially it is false, but later it becomes initially itself it is false, means the iterations will not happen even one time. 0 time iterations, guys. Okay, 0 times. Okay, the iterations will have, okay, iterations will, okay, will be 0 times. Okay, iterations will be 0 times. Hope everyone is clear, right? Initially true and all those stuff. Okay. The third case I'm showing you right now, guys, when I say the condition is for the first time itself it is false, like 15 less than or equal to 10. For the first time itself it's false. This loop will not run even one time. You will not get any output, guys. You will not get any output. You see, there is no output. Earlier, infinite ones were printed in the first case. Okay, in this case, infinite ones got printed in the example. Second case, 1 to 10 got printed. Countable number of times the iteration happened, so 1 to 10 got printed. Third case, where the condition is by default in the first case, first situation itself it is false, means 0 times the loop got iterated. 0 times the loop got iterated. So you see, you didn't get output because 0 times the loop. You didn't enter into the while loop because for the first time itself the condition is false. So the while loop got iterated 0 times. Okay, fine. So this is all about the while loop, guys. Okay, hope you understood what exactly is a while loop. The next category of the iterative or looping statements is do while loop. Okay, you have seen these three conditions, right? You have seen these three conditions. Okay, you have seen these three conditions, but third condition, when the condition is for the first time itself false, the loop has iterated 0 times. Okay. What if I say there is a way where even though initially only if the condition is false, the loop will iterate at least one time. How that is possible? With the help of while loop, it is not possible, but with the help of do while loop, it is possible. Okay. With the help of do while loop, okay, we can iterate the loop at least one time, even though the condition is first time only false. Here, if the condition is I is equal to 15, 15 less than or equal for the first time only the condition is false. If the condition is first only false, what will happen? The loop will not be iterated even one time. Okay, 0 times. What if I convert this while loop into do while loop? Then how to convert this while loop into do while loop? Here, take this while condition, which is there in the beginning of this loop, right? Beginning, starting of the loop, ending of the loop. In the beginning part of the loop, only this while and while keyword and condition are there, right? Take it from there here and put it at the end of the loop. And here at the end, if error is coming, put a semicolon. Okay. Now in the beginning part, you write a keyword known as do keyword. Now this will get converted into do while loop. Okay. Earlier when while and this condition was there here in place of the do keyword, if this while keyword and condition was there, it is called as a while loop, right? Now if I take this while condition to the end of this block and loop block and in the beginning of the loop block, if I put do keyword, this gets converted into the do while loop. Simple words. Okay. Now here the condition is false. For the first time only condition is false. Yes or no? 15 is there, 15 less than or equal to 10 is false. But this loop will run at least one time. Even though the condition is false for the first time also, this loop will iterate at least one time. How? Let me show you. Initially, I is 15, right? You see, when I want to enter into this particular loop, is there any condition here checking that not allowing me to enter into this loop? Is there any particular condition here which is stopping me from entering into this particular loop? There is no condition, right? Okay. Here, after the do keyword, there is no condition which is stopping me from entering into this loop, right? Which is, there is no particular condition here which is stopping me from entering into this particular loop. So if there is no condition here, just do keyword is there and starting is there, no condition is there, we'll directly enter into the loop without checking any condition. Okay. No matter whether without validating this condition, we are entering into this loop. And here the value of the I, that is 15, is getting printed. You see, in the first iteration, the value of the I 15 got printed. Now I plus means I will become 16 now. I became incremented by 1, that's 15 to 16, 16 it will become. Now the condition will be checked. At the end of this loop, the condition is checked for the first time. So while 16 is less than or equal to 10 is false, will come out of the loop. Earlier, the same condition was there in the while loop and same values were there for the I and all. The loop didn't execute even once. 0 times execution happened. But now, when I convert this while loop into do while loop, okay, at least once, you see, the loop already got iterated one time. Okay, the value of I got printed, 15 will be printed and next condition is false, so will come out of the loop. Okay, if you run this code, you see, at least one iteration, that is the value of I, that is 15 got printed, only one iteration has been iterated. At least one time this do while loop will run, guys, when compared to the while loop. Remaining all things are same, guys. Remaining when it is when the condition is always true, this do while loop also will go into infinite loops. When the condition is initially true but later turns false, also countable number of times. Okay, the loop can be running, do while loop will run. But only the difference between while loop and do while loop is if the condition is first only false, while loop will run 0 times, whereas do while loop will run one time, at least one time the do while loop will run. Okay, if the condition is first only false, at least one time the do while loop will run. That's what is the major difference between the while loop and do while loop. So now you can ask me, like, what if I provide 1 here? Will it print 1 to 10? Yes, definitely it will print 1 to 10, guys. Okay, initially it is 1. You'll go inside the loop without condition check. Here I value is 1, so 1 will be printed. I will become 2. Condition will be checked. 2 less than or equal to 10, true. Again we'll enter into the loop. 2 will get printed here. Then 3, true again. Enter into the loop. 3 will be printed. Then 4, condition is true. Again enter into the loop, 4 will be printed. 5, condition is true. Enter into the loop, 5 will be printed. 6, condition is true. Enter into the loop and 6 will be printed. 7, condition is true. Enter into the loop, 7 will be printed. 8, condition is true. Will enter into the loop and 8 will be printed. Then 9, condition is true. Will enter into the loop and 9 will be printed. Then 10, the condition, condition is true. Will enter into the loop and 10 will be printed. Okay, 10 will be printed. After that, I will become 11. Condition is true. Okay, the condition will become true. And once you enter into this, here no condition is there. Sorry, when I becomes 11, for example, up to 10, it's fine. When I becomes 11, right, the condition is true or false. It's false. 11 is less than or equal to 10 is false. So we'll come out of the do while. So 1 to 10 got printed. 1 to 10 will be printed, guys. Let me show you how the 1 to 10 will be printed. You see 1 to 10 got printed. Okay, fine. Remaining all cases, while loop and do while loop will work in the same way, but only in one case where the initially if the condition is false, while loop will run 0 times, whereas do while loop will run 1 time. Okay, that's what is the difference between while loop and do while loop. Okay, that's what is the difference between while loop and do. I'll change it back to the while loop again, guys. I'll just change this code into the while loop again. Anyhow, you have understood this do while loop, right? So I'll change this code back to the while loop where, I have removed the do keyword and whatever the while keyword and condition I have kept at the end of the loop, right? I moved it into the beginning of the loop. Okay, now I is equal to 1, 1 less than or equal to 10 and all those stuff. 1 to 10 will be printed. That's okay. 1 to 10 got printed. Everything is working fine. This is a normal while loop, right? This is normal while loop. Now comes the third category that I am going to cover in this session of the loops. After while loop and do while loop, we have one more category, one more item under the iterative or looping state, one more type of statement, that is for loop, guys. Okay, there's the next one is for loop, guys. Next one is for loop. How to convert this while loop into the for loop? Here, replace this while keyword with for keyword. Okay, replace this while keyword with the for keyword. Okay, that is the first thing. And the next thing here is here this declaration and creation of this variable is in the beginning, right? I'll just put it here. Okay, this is one step. After that, here semicolon, you put it from here and paste it here, and I plus plus, you bring it here. Okay, this I plus plus, you bring it here. That's it. This is what becomes a for loop. Okay, I converted the while loop code into the for loop code. Let me repeat again, guys. Okay, just see here what is happening. Let me go back. Let me go back to the code of the while loop code. Okay, declaration and declaration and initialization of the variable is done in one line. Then condition is there in another line. Incrementation or decrementation. Okay, change of the variable I as part of the initialization, incrementation or decrementation is there in another step, seventh step. Third step, first step, seventh step. There are 3 steps, right? So how many lines of code are there because of these 3 steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Total 9 lines of code are there. What if I tell you I can simplify this code in such a way that you don't have to write this many lines of code, 9 lines of code you don't have to write. I can reduce the code at least 2 lines. I'll reduce the code. Okay, how to do that? So if I have to convert this while loop code into the for loop, okay, I have to change this keyword while keyword with the for keyword. Okay, in the same code, change the while keyword into the for keyword, and this part, declaration and initialization part, you move it here as a first section inside the circular brackets. Only condition won't be there. In case of for loop, there will be 3 sections. First section will be creation and initialization, declaration or initialization, or creation or initialization is the first step. Second step is a condition, guys. Second step is a condition, and third step is this part. Okay, for this part, to separate this condition, we need a semicolon symbol. We can take the semicolon from here and paste it here. After that, you take this incrementation or decrementation and paste it here. Okay, so this is what is the final code. How many lines of code earlier? 9 lines. Okay, now 1, 2, 3, 4, total 5 lines. How many lines got reduced? From 9 lines, it became, from 9 lines, it became 5 lines. 4 lines got reduced. Which one is simple? While loop is simple or for loop is simple? For loop is simple. Because all the 3 things, that is creation of the variable and initialization of the variable and condition, then incrementation or decrementation are part of the same line. Okay, they are part of the same line. Okay, initialization section, this is called as in for loop, this is called as initialization section, this is called as condition section. Okay, this one is called as a incrementation or decrementation section. Okay, like the 3 sections will be there. Whereas in while loop, you have to write this in separate line. You have to create the variable and initialize that in a separate line. You have to write the condition in a separate line and so on, right? But in case of for loop, all the 3 items will come in the same condition, and this how the loop will be there. This will give you the same result, guys. This will give you the same result. Okay, here, what will happen, how this, when you run this code, what will happen? The execution will start from here, right? First, this initialization section will be done. Okay. First, the control will go to the inside the for loop. The initialization section will be executed first. That is, let I is equal to 1. Okay. Variable I will be created and it will be assigned with the value 1. Okay. That is the first step. Once I became 1, from here the control will jump to the second section of this for loop. That is condition. That is I less than or equal to 10. 1 is less than or equal to 10. True or false? Yes. 1 is less than or equal to 10 is true. Once the condition is true, we'll go inside the loop, right? Whenever a loop condition becomes true, we'll go inside the loop, right? Here also, after the condition becomes true, we'll go inside the loop. And here the value of the I, that is current value of the I is 1, 1 will get printed. And at the end of the loop, from the end of the loop, the control will come back to this third section, that is I plus plus, okay? Incrementation or decrementation section, it will come. So value of I will become 2 here. And from here, again condition will be verified, okay? 2 less than or equal to 10. True. Go inside. Current value of I is true. 2 will be printed. Okay. 2 will be printed. End of the loop. I plus plus. I will become 3. 3 less than or equal to 10. True. Come into the loop. 3 will be printed. End of the loop. I plus plus. I will become 4. 4 less than or equal to 10, which is true. You go inside the loop. 4 will be printed. End of the loop. I plus plus. I will become 5. 5 less than or equal to 10, which is true. We'll go inside that and 5 will be printed. Then end of the loop. I'll become 6, which is true. 6 will be printed. End of the loop. 7, condition is true. Go inside the loop. 7 will be printed. End of the loop. From here, condition, it will go to this incrementation or decrementation. I'll become 8. From here, condition, okay, which is true. The current value of the I, that is 8, will be printed. End of the loop. I plus plus. I plus plus, guys. I'll become 9. Condition is still true. 9 less than or equal to 10 is still true. We'll go inside the loop. The current value of the I, that is 9, will get printed. End of the loop. I plus plus. I'll become 10. 10 less than or equal to 10 is, which is still true. The condition is true. We'll go inside the loop and print the value of the I, that is 10, will get printed. End of the loop. We'll go to the I plus plus. I'll become 11 here. 11 less than or equal to 10, which is for the first time false, will come out of this for loop. This is how the for loop will run. Okay. Let me run the code and see what is happening. You see, 1 to 10 will be printed, guys. When I print, okay, 1 to 10 got printed, 1 to 10 got printed, right? 1 to 10 got printed. So this is how the for loop will work, guys. This is how the for loop will work. Okay. It will print the values. It has printed the values from. So just let me clear this and run it again. You see, 1 to 10 will be printed. Okay. It will start with the first section. Only one time this section will be executed, where it will create the variable and initialize that variable with 1. After that, it will never come back to the first section. From there onwards, it will go to the second section. And once the condition is verified, it go inside the loop and then come to this section. Then go to this section, enter into the loop, end of the loop, come to this increment the third section, then second section for condition, then go inside the loop. It will repeat until this condition becomes false. Okay. So this is how the for loop will get executed, guys. Okay, there's a simplified version of the while loop, right? The simplified version of the while loop. So at this point of time, I cannot say that which loop is better. Okay, at this point of time, if you ask me like clearly which loop we have to use while loop or while loop or for loop. Okay, which one is more better? I'll generally say for loop is better for me. Okay, at this point of time, for loop is better. It doesn't mean that while loop we don't use. At some point of time, we have to use while loop, guys. Okay, you see. If calculated number of iterations, how many iterations are going to come in, I is equal to 1, I less than, such kind of cases, for loop is better, guys. There may be some kind of looping situations where you don't know how many iterations. Okay, it all depends on the dynamically, it all depends on the condition or something situation and all. There while loop is better, guys. I cannot at this point of time, I cannot give you an example of the while loop, a kind of example where while loop is better than the for loop. In one example I cannot give you, but I may give you that in the upcoming sessions. But for now, if you ask me to print numbers from 1 to 10, which loop you will use, while loop or for loop, means I'll generally prefer for loop, because for loop is very simple. It takes very less number of lines of code when compared to the while loop and all. So for loop is a preferable loop for me. Going ahead, no matter what, wherever I need to use loops, I'll give first preference to the for loop. Okay, then only while loop. So there are some situations where while loop is better than the for loop, but at this point of time, okay, I cannot explain how while loop may be chosen in some kind of situation when compared to for loop. I cannot explain at this point of time with the knowledge I have shared with you. You cannot understand whatever I'll explain about the while loop at this point of time, how it can be better than for loop in some situations. Okay, so ignore that point, guys, for a while. Ignore that point and just believe that for a while, for loop is better than the while loop. You just okay until the turn comes of the while loop, and I can give an example where while loop is better than for loop. Till the time comes, you just you know, be okay with. Okay, the situation for now that for loop is better than the while loop. Whenever a situation arises to use while loop and for loop, I prefer for loop. You just prefer for a while. Okay, but when the situations of the while loop example comes where it is better than the for loop, I'll explain that. Okay, till then, don't worry about it. Okay, so these are the loops I thought of covering in this particular session, right? While loop, do while loop, and for loop. We also have for in loop and for off loop, but I cannot cover this. These items also I cannot cover because for in loop you need to understand the concept of object in JavaScript, and for off loop you have to work with some iterables like arrays and all those stuff. Okay, which have not covered in this JavaScript session. So ignore this two loops for a while. They'll be covered to you in the upcoming sessions. Okay, for now these three loops, if you are able to run and practice, it's all good. Okay, so hope guys you understood the three, okay, the first three major iterative or looping statements in JavaScript. The remaining two I'll cover in the upcoming sessions. Okay, so with this we are done with the iterative or looping statements in JavaScript, guys. Okay, in the next session we'll go with the transfer statements. Till then, see you. Bye bye. Hello all, welcome to another session in this course. As part of this session, I'm going to cover the next topic under flow control statements, that is transfer statements. The last category of the flow control statements are transfer statements. In the previous session, I covered iterative or looping flow control statements for you. Okay, these were the things I covered. Okay, let me just show you the notes of the previous session to show you what exactly I have covered in the previous session. So just see here what exactly I have covered. I have covered these iterative statements, which are also called as looping statements or loop statements. Okay. And these are the ones. Okay. For loop, while loop, do while loop, for loop, for in loop, for off loop. In this all this type of loops, I already only covered the first three types. Last two, I told you that I'll be covering this one with after covering the object kind of concepts, and I'll be covering for off with iterable items like arrays and all those stuff. Okay, so for now in the last session I covered only these three loops, and in the upcoming sessions I'm going to cover the remaining type of loops. Okay, so these are all the things, guys. Okay, for loop, while loop, then we have this do while loop, for in loop, and for off loop I'll be covering later. So out of all these five loops, I covered the first three loops. Last two loops I'll be covering later. So that happened in the previous session. Now coming to the current session, okay, I'm going to cover the transfer statements for you. Okay, I'm going to cover the transfer statements for you. Let me also open the notes for the transfer statements here. Majorly, there are four transfer statements. In the JavaScript, there are majorly four transfer statements. One is break, second one is continue, third one is return, and fourth one is through. Okay, you can clearly see here the most of the here are the most common transfer statements in JavaScript: break, continue, return, and through. Break, continue, return, and through. Transfer statements. Okay, transfer statements. Break. Next one is continue. Break, continue. Third one is return. Third one is return. Fourth one is through. Fourth one is through. Break, continue, return, and throw. These are the major transfer statements we have in JavaScript language. Okay. So out of these four items in this session, I'll be covering only the first two items. Okay. Return I need to cover in the upcoming sessions, guys. At this point of time, I cannot cover return because return need to be explained along with the functions kind of topic, which will be covered later. So return will be postponed. The explanation or practical demonstration of the return will be done in the upcoming sessions. And coming to the throw also, throw is somewhat related to the exception handling and functions and all those stuff. Okay, kind of stuff, guys. So I cannot explain this throw right now. Okay, so these two items will be covered in the upcoming sessions. But in this session, I'm going to cover two transfer statements, that is break and continue, one by one. So let's get started with break. Okay, break transfer statement. And what exactly are these transfer statements? If you remember, guys, I told you, right? Transfer statements are one of the category of the statements under the flow control statements. And assume that this box is a JavaScript file, and in that we have multiple lines of code like this. Okay, in this we have multiple lines of code like this, for example. Okay, in the JavaScript file we have this multiple lines of code available. Now, when I run this code, the execution the execution of this code may happen something like this, guys. Okay, the execution of the code may happen something like this. The execution may start here. From here, it may directly jump here. Okay. From here, it may go here. From here, it may go here. From here, it may come here. May go here. Can I come down? It may go here. Okay, like this, guys. Okay, jumping. Okay, jumping like a monkey. Okay. So if a monkey is jumping on a tree from one branch to another branch, the same way, if you want the execution also to jump from one line of the code to another line of the code, upward and downward, okay, that is also possible with the help of the flow control statements and the category of statements which actually make this kind of scenario possible where jumping from one line of the code to another line of the code, like monkey is jumping on a tree from one branch of the tree to another branch zigzag way. Okay, that is possible with the transfer statements. Okay, which category of statements under the flow control statement this kind of situation is possible? Transfer statements. And these are the major, there are many other transfer statements, guys. Majorly, if you have to discuss or learn about the transfer statements, these are the major ones. Okay, break, continue, return, throw. In this, these two items I'll cover now, and the remaining two items I'll cover later. Return and throw I'll cover later. So let's get started with break. Let's get started with break. Remember, guys, where we have used break in the previous session. Okay, in one of the previous sessions, when I have explained about this conditional or selection statements, there was one of the conditional or selection statement known as switch case. Okay, whenever a particular case of the switch case matches and we go inside the case, to come out of the switch case, we have used a break statement already. Okay, I've already explained how to use a break statement and what will happen if you don't use a break statement in the switch case. I already have covered this break statement, which will break the switch case and come out. Okay. Whenever this break statement under the switch case encounters, the switch case will be broken and will be coming out of the switch case. Apart from this switch case, we can also use break statement in loops. Okay, break statement can be used in switch case, which I already have demonstrated in the previous sessions. Whereas we can also use this break statement in the loops like for loop, while loop, do while loop, for in loop, for off loop, all the type of the loops you can use break statement. Okay, so what will happen if you use the break statement inside the loops? Whenever this break statement is encountered, will come out of the loop. Okay, like whenever the break statement got encountered in the switch case, we came out of the switch case completely outside, right? Similarly, whenever the break statement is encountered or executed inside the loop, it will take you out of the loop. Simple, it will take you out of the loop. So for example, I'll demonstrate how to use a break statement in one of the loops, that is for loop. So for that, I'll launch the Visual Studio Code, guys. Okay. So in this editor, I'm going to demonstrate how to use a break statement. Okay. Do one thing. Let's close all this stuff. Let me drag it here and let me delete this file. It's not required anymore. So let's go here and create a new file, and I'll just write it out as break demo dot. Yes, here I'll be writing the code for for let I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, or 5 other yeah, I less than or equal to 5, then I plus plus. Okay, like this I am writing the code. Okay, for let I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus, and in this, okay, in this I'll be writing break, put a semicolon. You see, if I write the code like this, and here I'll write break, and I'll just print the value of I here. Okay, I would like to print the value of I, and break statement is there. I'm trying to print the value of the I. If I run this code, what will be the output, guys? If I run this code, what will be the output? Let's understand. First, this section, the value of I will be 1. I will be created, variable I will be created, and it will be initialized with the value 1. I is 1 now. Once the initialization is done, the control should go to the next one, that is condition, that is 1 less than or equal to 5. 1 less than or equal to 5, which is also true. This is also true. I is 1. then 1 less than or equal to 5 is true. We'll go inside the loop. Here break statement will be encountered, okay, and will completely come out of the loop. That's it, guys. That's the end of the story. Nothing will be printed in the output console. You see node break demo.js. If I say, you see, nothing got printed because directly break statement is there in the loop. Since the first condition itself, okay, when I is 1, the first condition itself is satisfied, we'll went into the loop and break statement has taken you out of the loop. Okay, it didn't print 1 to 5. Is 1 to 5 got printed? If console.log got executed, 1 to 5 would have been printed, but because of the break statement, nothing got printed. If I remove the break statement from here, the same code will print 1 to 5. You see, 1 to 5 got printed. But if I put the break statement, nothing will be printed. Okay, if I put the break statement, nothing got printed. You see, nothing got printed. That's the problem. Okay, that's the problem. Now, what I will do here, instead of directly providing the break statement here, I'll write a condition. If I is, okay, triple equal to 3 or double equal to 3 or triple equal to 3, nothing matters. Okay, starting of the if block, and inside that if I write the break statement, what will be printed? Like if I write the code, what will happen in this case? What will be the output? If this is a situation, what will be the output, guys? First, I will be 1. I will be created and I will be 1. 1 less than or equal to 5, 5, which is true. Okay. Initially, I is 1. 1 less than or equal to 5, which is true. 1 is less than or equal to 5, which is true. We'll go inside the for loop. Then 1 equal to 3 is false. It will not go inside the if block. So break statement will not be executed in the first iteration. And here console.log I1 will be printed here. Okay. Because of this, 1 will be printed. Because of this, 1 will be printed. Next, we'll go to the end of this loop and I plus plus will happen. I will become 2. 2 less than or equal to 5, which is also true. 2 less than or equal to 5, which is also true. Go inside the for loop. 2 equal to 3 is false. This is skipped. This will get skipped. Break statement will not get executed because 2 is not equal to 3. Then here console.log of I means the current value of I is 2. 2 will be printed. End of the loop. I plus plus I will become 3. 3 less than or equal to 5, which is true. 3 less than or equal to 5 is true. We'll go inside the loop. 3 equal to 3 is, this time it is also true. If it is true, we'll go inside the if block and for the first time break statement will get executed and will come out of the for loop. Only 1 and 2 will be printed, remaining will not be printed because break statement has taken you completely out of the for loop when I became 3 and this statement from here we came out. Okay, that's the reason only 1 and 2 will be printed. You see, only 1 and 2 will be printed. In the third iteration, this condition became true and the break statement got executed. The moment the break statement got executed, we came out of the loop. So this is what is a break, guys. Okay, this is what is a break. Okay, fine. So in the third iteration, break statement got executed and we came out of the loop and from there nothing got executed anymore. Okay, we directly came out of the for loop has been broken. Okay, after 2 iterations, the third iteration, the for loop got broken. So only 1 and 2 got printed here. Fine. This is what is all about the break statement, guys. Break statement will break the loop and take you outside of the loop whenever it is executed in the loops. Okay. In any particular loop, if the break statement gets executed, it may be while loop or do while loop or for loop, break statement will there itself, once it gets executed, it will directly take you out of the loop. That's what is the concept of the break statement. Okay. Now the next one is a next statement we have is a continue statement, guys. Apart from the break statement, we also have a continue statement, guys. Okay. So here, in place of the break, I'll write continue. The same logic. In place of the break, I'm writing the continue. What will happen? The continue will cancel the current iteration. The difference between break and continue you have to understand, guys. Okay. Break, this side continue. What is the difference between the break and continue? What is the difference between these two items? Break when used inside this loops or switch case. Okay. Will, okay, take you out of the loops by canceling all the pending iterations. Okay. All the iterations otherwise. Okay. Once encountered, break will take you out of the loops. Break will stop the loop execution and take you out of the loop by calling all the iterations. Okay. By canceling, guys. By canceling. This is not calling. This is canceling. Okay. Break will break when executed. inside a loop will take you out of the loop by canceling all the iterations. Okay. Okay. By canceling all the iterations, break. What about continue? Continue, when executed inside a loop, will not cancel all the iterations or will not take you out of the loop. Rather, continue when executed inside a loop will cancel only the current running iteration. Only current running iteration will be cancelled. Okay. And next iterations will be continued. Next loop iterations will be continued, guys. Okay. That's what is continue. If you are using continue in place of the break, what will happen? Let me tell you. Here, initially, I is 1. I value will be created and the value of I is 1. Then we'll go to this condition. 1 less than or equal to 5, which is true. If it is true, we'll go inside this loop. If it is true, we'll go inside this loop, guys. And here, I have to say, here, I value is 1, right? 1 equal to 3 is false. This will be skipped because the condition is false means this code will not be executed, and we'll go here console.log, 1 will be printed. Okay, here 1 will be printed. We'll come to the end of the loop, and here I plus plus I will become 2. 2 less than or equal to 5, which is true. Again, we'll go inside the loop. 2 equal to 3 is false. This block will be skipped because the condition is resulting in false. Then console.log of I means 2 will be printed. Now end of the loop, and I plus plus I will become 3, guys. 3 less than or equal to 5, which is true again. 3 less than or equal to 5 is true again. If it is true, go inside this loop, and 3 equal to 3. Okay, this condition is for the first time true, so we'll go inside this if condition block. If block, and continue statement will get executed. What the continue statement will do, whenever it is encountered, it will cancel the current iteration. From here, the current iteration code, that is, if it is got executed from here to here, the current iteration of this particular selected items will be ignored, and directly will go to I++. Without running this particular code after the continue statement, directly will go to I++ because continue will cancel the current iteration. So I will become 4. Okay. So here 1, 2 got printed, but 3 didn't get printed because it has cancelled the current iteration. So 3 didn't get printed here. Then I became 4. 4 less than or equal to 5 is 2. Will go inside the loop, and 4 equal to 3 is false. This code will be skipped, it will not be executed. So console.log 4 will be printed. After 1 to 4 got printed, third iteration got cancelled. Okay, because of the 3 didn't get printed. Okay, then I will become 5, which is true. This is false. Continue statement will not be executed. I value 5 will be printed. End of the loop. 6, which is false here. This condition 6 less than or equal to 5 is false. Will directly come out of the for loop now. Only 1, 2, 4, 5 got printed. 3 has not been printed because it has cancelled the current iteration. Hope guys you are clear the difference between break and continue statement. If I put break here, when the condition is satisfied, directly it will take you out of the loop. All the iterations will be cancelled. Whereas in case of continue, only the current iteration will be cancelled and next iteration will be continued. Okay. So this is what this is what are the transfer statements we have in JavaScript, guys. Okay. So let me show you the notes for the last time. Transfer statements are used to control the flow of they are one category of the flow control statements in Java, guys. Okay, using this you can do all this stuff. Okay, you can do exit a loop early, skip to the next iteration using the break and continue. These two things are possible. These two things I'll be explaining later because I need to explain return and throw later. Okay, I only covered out of the 4 transfer statements we have. I only covered break and continue. Return and throw I'll be covering later, guys. Okay, when the time comes, I'll cover about the return and throw. So these two items are about this return and throw. So I'm not explaining about them. So just scroll down here how to use a break statement and all using the similar logic what that I have written. Continue statement how to use. Return statement I didn't cover, and throw statement I didn't cover. So only break and continue. You can use break and continue with you can use break with for loop, while loop, do while loop, other loops, and switch case. Whereas continue statement only should be used with loops. Okay, not with the switch case. Only with the loops you can use. Continue statement will skip the current iteration, whereas break and continue with the next iteration. Whereas break statement will exit when it gets encountered by cancelling all the iterations. Okay, fine. Wherever it got encountered, from there all the iterations will be cancelled. But continue will only cancel the current iteration, and next iteration will be continued. Fine. So hope guys with this okay, with this we are done with the transfer statements in JavaScript. Okay, so we are done with the flow control statements in JavaScript, guys. That is in the previous sessions I covered conditional or selection statements, iterative or looping statements, and now in this session I covered the transfer statements. In the next session I'm going to cover about the comments. Till then, see you. Bye bye.